let's go back to your party.
What is it about my party?
Still talking about the gale of defections from your party.
There is no gale of defections. So let us even take. So how many people have defected?
About 3 governors are gone now.
So let's see. Let's just take. Let's take them one after the other.
You know how good it would have been if the lead of if the majority of the APC in the National Assembly was not as tremendous as it is now. You know, on both sides, you need to work with one another. But we have a situation in which APC has overwhelming majority and more people are still defecting from your party.
APC actually doesn't have overwhelming majority. The majority you need to pass, let's say, an amendment of the Constitution is 2/3. The majority you need to pass a bill, just like we did in the Electoral Act, is simply simple majority. So when you say it's overwhelming, it's not like that. It depends on what the Constitution stipulates for the different type of legislation that we do. 2, when we come to the fact of defections, okay, so 3, just a minute, 3 governors have defected.
Yes.
Which governors? Governor Umahi from Ebonyi says, I'm defecting because they don't want to make us president. You understand? And of course, having moved to APC, nothing was heard again about making him president.
No, it's still too early. It's still too early. The campaigns have not even begun.
So then Governor Ayade now says he's defecting. And his reason was even more ludicrous, that he was defecting because President Buhari has managed the country very well. That's a reason for defecting, because President Buhari has managed the country in his own view very well. So you could see that there was no reason for that. Then the third one, Governor Motawale of Zamfara, saying he's defecting so that the federal government will help him in tackling banditry. In other words, telling Nigerians that the federal government was the source of the banditry in his state.
No,
because that's exactly what he meant.
He just said that there will be concerted efforts.
Oh, okay, so
not necessarily that the federal government.
So as a governor of a state, he doesn't have the capability of meeting with the president, who is president of the whole of Nigeria, because he's in a different party. In other words, also, he's also telling Nigerians that the president is divisive, that the president does not help a governor that is in another party who has a security problem, except you come. And so, justifying what we are saying, that APC government has been blackmailing governors. Now, a couple of days ago, the governors of the Northeast of the PDP extraction had a meeting and also came out and said publicly that they are calling on the federal government to stop harassing them. So, if APC was such a very beautiful party, such a nice thing,
harassing them
so
to come and join.
To come and join. Why? Why do you have to push people? Why do you have to impose it on people?
But you know, is this governor saying this?
No, I'm just saying
we have no means of verifying.
Well, the point really,
the veracity of what they are saying.
The point really is you also have no means of verifying whatever the APC says. that people were coming on their own free will and it is because of how good they are. That's what they say. And so, we do not care about who decides to go where. In fact, the one of Governor Motawale is the most pathetic. This is a man who swore on the Quran, and it is live, and the video is viral, and said, if I ever leave, let it not be well with me. He swore on the Quran. In other words, he just forgot. Or he does not take that book serious or something.
I've not seen
I will send you the video. It's there. Even Governor Wike referred to it to say, how can this man do this?
I've heard that your governor too may eventually end up in the APC.
The governor of Abia, in receiving the members of the Board of Trustees of PDP, also said, I will never leave PDP. So, he said so.
Can I trust anyone?
I can also send you.
Can I trust anyone, including you?
I don't know. It means me going to APC. I think really that you, for some of us who have built a reputation of integrity and telling the truth, there is nothing I will gain from APC. I'm telling you, nothing I will gain. So when they talk about going to APC, if I'm the last man, I'll be in PDP. If I'm the last man, you can lose anything. You know, I think one of the banes of our political development is the feeling that you must win. Yes. You must be in office. You must have a position. If you don't, that you won't be able to make a contribution to society. I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. I think you can make contributions elsewhere. I think you can show the way. I think you can say this is what it is. I think that even though our society today has degenerated to such an extent, but I think that there are still a few good people.
Where are we on the PIB controversy?
At the moment, at the PIB, it was suspended. The joint conference report was suspended in the House, but has been passed in the Senate. And what was passed in the Senate at the joint conference report is 3% for host community, which is the contentious issue.
So after the recess, we expect
yes. As soon as we come back from the recess, I think these differences will now be tackled by a joint conference of both houses. Maybe also, the recess will also give people time to reflect on what they have done. For example, for the Senate, for us to ask ourselves, how could we pass a bill that is against the Constitution, which we swore to uphold? I mean, the question of Section 78, subjecting INEC to, so I guess that those type of things will go on throughout the recess. And so when we come back, we'll probably have to look at those things again.
One of your colleagues, talking about the defections from the PDP, said it was time for your chairman, the national chairman, to throw in the towel, literally accusing him of lack of capacity to lead, blaming him for these defections.
Well, I think that, with all due respect, that person who said so is very, very wrong. You are a chairman, a governor makes his decision. When you get to know, you take members of the National Working Committee to the chairman, you get the Board of Trustees to go to talk to the person, you get a group of governors to go to talk to the person, at the end of all these interventions, the person still says he's going. How will you now turn around? If the chairman had ignored all these signs, then you would say, I was part of talking to these people. And I know, and if you listen to Governor Wike, he said that even the governors, PDP Governors Forum, led by Tambuwal, that they all went on a very hazardous journey to see Governor Mutawale to say. And I know that the PDP NWC went, and I know that they sent the, I mean, so if everybody comes to you as your party member, and let's even go back to the front basis, you're a member of a party. Why should you be begged to stay in the party? And nobody has advanced.
Maybe they simply
why should you?
Maybe they simply think there's no future in the party.
If you feel that there's no future in the party, then you're not the only person. In the same Zamfara, the deputy governor said he's not going, that he doesn't see the reason for it. Both of them did elections.
Maybe he didn't want to offend his father.
How? What has that got to do with offending his father? He's an individual. He's an individual on his own. So, when this type of story, because some people are defecting, I don't see that is an issue that you're going to hang on the National Working Committee of the party. What has happened, I think, is that some people think that they have interests for which they want to protect, or which they want to advance, or which they want to, and they say, okay, let me go here. And I bet you, and I can tell you, and for those who are defecting for free, they never get what they want when they go there. Never. We have seen it happen time without number.
But the governor of Kebbi State defected from your party and was given the ticket and he became governor.
Who?
The governor of Kebbi State currently used to be in your party. He defected and he was given the ticket and he became governor.
He wasn't given the ticket because it was the Kebbi people deciding that he would be the person to be governor. Not because of his defection. What I'm saying, in effect, is that we have seen people move, whatever they are sought for. And you know, because I walk across the aisle, I talk to our people, my friends also in APC, and one of them, when I told him, oh, well, our people have gone over to you now, you can now give them presidency and all that. The man just had a good laugh. And you know what he told me? He said, so after we cook soup, then you come and give another person come and lick.
But especially in the South, there were people who defected to the APC and became ministers, you know. And since politics is an interest-driven game, people
will always do that.
Yes.
Yes. And so when PDP takes over, then they defect back. Because you see, what goes around comes around. There was also a time in this country, just before the second term of President Obasanjo, when PDP had everything and everybody was running to come to PDP. You know that happened too. And it was also the same thing. And so, if this had not happened before, we would have been so worried to say, maybe, but PDP still lost elections, despite the vaunting bigness of it, which is what APC is copying now. They will also lose election. That is what I know as a fact.
Do you honestly think that, based on the crisis that we see even in PDP, based on the fact that people are jumping ship from the PDP, they can win the next election? Do you honestly think your party can win the next election?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you when it's going to start. It's going to start in November.
This November?
Yes.
With
when the trouble in APC erupts properly.
But the problem is, you always have crisis in your own party. Look at Anambra, for example.
Our party, no, we don't have any.
You've never successfully presented a candidate for governor in Anambra without a crisis.
No, what happened in Anambra is that everybody who runs and does everything and always tries to make sure that all their rights are protected in some way. And most of the time they go to court to protect, but at the end of the day, we will always have a candidate. And we already have a candidate now. All that is going on now is that people are litigating, which is their right. But we have a candidate, and the candidate will be the candidate that will win the election. That is what we see.
You can't predict that PDP will win the Anambra election.
Look, three senators in Anambra, 2 out of them PDP. House of Rep members, I think 8 or so, 5 out of them PDP. So you want to ask yourself, why would in an APGA state, no APGA person won a senatorial election? The grassroots and the base in Anambra is PDP. That's a fact.
But the governorship election is always a problem.
When it comes to governorship, of course they will have all that, but not this time. I think people have realized where the problems are. And we have a candidate who, by, I would say, divine providence now, does not have political baggage. Yes. Because always those people who have political baggage, as people will say, rather than let them go, let us pull them down. So we think that there will be a better results for the PDP this time.
Finally,